One of my podcasts from earlier this year, I did an episode on the importance of living a balanced life. And in it, I make the statement that the opposite of joy is not unhappiness. The opposite of joy is feeling helpless to our surroundings and the chronic loneliness that's so rampant in the world today. And you just brought up earlier this hyper individualistic state that we find ourselves in. Why do you believe so many people today feel helpless, feel hopeless, are experiencing this crisis of loneliness? Because I think this is one of the most important things we've got to tackle in the future because it's affecting tens, if not hundreds of millions of people across the globe.
Yeah, and John, this is something that is so important because, Julianne Hunt Lundstedt, a scientist in Utah, has actually proven that loneliness is actually a bigger killer than obesity and smoking right now. And I think it starts from when we have been small around, again, pointing us in this direction of being hyper individualistic and being very selfish in our approach to how we live. And we've disconnected each other from one another. I think that's why we're in such a crisis in America right now, where we're so divided. And you said something really important before when you were describing Mark and his co-founder and others and their co-founder and how different they were. And what was beautiful in all these partnerships is many of them were radically different, like you couldn't get more different. But this electric current of difference was what made them stronger and what made them able to achieve something way bigger in the world than they ever could have done on their own. And it was this shared humility that almost became like a sense of informed confidence, of understanding like where your weaknesses were and where you needed someone else to come in to help bring other strengths that maybe you didn't have. Right now, we're taught that we have to know everything. We have to be right. Our opinion is we can't hold a space of difference. And what these partnerships taught me is that you can disagree, but you don't have to be disagreeable. You can find a place and hold that. One of the interviews that always sticks in my mind was Cornel West, who's a social democrat. Both are very strong intellectuals in their fields. And then Robert George, who is a Christian conservative thinker. In interviewing them, they have such a deep bond and such a deep friendship. And they have such respect for each other, even though they have radically different opposing views on everything you can imagine, from religion to politics. And when I ended that interview with them, I'll never forget, they said a really important comment that it really changed me inside. They said, go out and find a friend that unsettles you. Go out and find a friend that unsettles you. And to me, that's really important, particularly in America right now. We need to be going out and building friendships with people across divides, listening and learning and holding that place of deep respect and trust, even if they have deeply opposing views.